Good morning or good night, Gacha Kingdom. This video is straight from the Fujo and Danchi Club because to a vote of 4-1, we are going to be talking about aliceyuzuha. Finally, about damn time by Lizzo. Before we get too deep into the Yuri zone, I do have to mention about the Manato situation because it's even more crazier than it was a month ago. Yes, I am aware that Manato is a A-rank fire rupture unit. I personally think it's really stupid. A lot of countries really think that's really stupid. But you know what? I'm not the Zenless Zone dev team. I'm not hoyoverse having to figure out my consequences to my actions right now. So all I'm saying is that I honestly would have preferred if he was delayed. And they were just like, oh my god, like what if Manato doesn't sell for whatever reason? Then why not just make him free? Make him a free S rank fire rupture unit so that everybody can have their hands on a rupture unit instead of an A rank, because an A rank, while yes can be easier to get, you still have to pull on the respective banner, which in this case I believe is Lucia's banner, to get to Manato. And if the gacha gods aren't very happy with you that day, then you can be spending a lot of polychromes just to not get the man a single time. And if you are like 50 pulls deep and you don't have a single Manato, I highly recommend you to just turn off Zenless Zone for the day and try again tomorrow, because maybe the gods will look at you just maybe tomorrow. Some of y'all need this reminder that gacha games are a marathon, not a sprint. So Manato being an A rank, hindsight is also kind of a good thing, because if you want to take it the long-term route, then you could get a E6 Manato in 6 months if you just choose Manato in the store selector every single month. And you get just one Manato from Lucia's banner if you do decide to pull for Lucia. And also, if you just wait for the 2.4 patch to be over, and 2.5 he's going to be in the standard banner, and then you could theoretically pull him. It's just going to be really fucking hard because the A rank pool is actually getting bigger in a hoyoverse game in 2025. Holy shit. If you want my full opinion about the Manato situation, you can watch the video I made a month ago. My opinion has not changed that much in that 1 month time span and this past week. TLDR, I don't think Manato being an A rank is that crazy. That said, the gamer side of me is pretty peeved that he's an A rank. The gay side of me is just happy that he's playable, and also apparently he's supposed to have the most lines out of Spook Shack the next update anyway. So like, what happened? What happened, Zenless Zone team? Like, I thought we were the ones that were supposed to have brains. Manato update over, and now my viewer retention rate just went from 100% to like 20%, because now instead of talking about the himbo that wants to be with his friends, I'm going to be talking about the awesome lesbian couple instead. I mean, you clicked on this video that literally says aliceyuzuha all in lowercase letters. When looking back at this quest, I think Yuzuha and Alice's relationship is kind of high-key given Sushung and Gwen Ifen. When Gwen Ifen was telling Sushung about all the ghosts, and then ghosts actually showed up, and then they were both scared. But in this case, Yuzuha isn't scared of ghosts, but Alice is like super deathly scared of ghosts, so it balances out. While Gwen Ifen is Sushung, I can only ever see as besties, because this is the type of shit that only besties would do. The relationship between Alice and Yuzuha is definitely deeper than just the best friends. If they were just best friends, it's kind of given, okay, if we're both still single when we're both 30, then let's start dating each other. High key, that's like a premise to an anime right there. Two best friends that agreed that they would start dating when they're 30 years old, but then one of them starts dating somebody, but then the other person is like, oh my god, like what if I actually do like that person? Holy shit, oh no. And then like they get into like a love triangle, but like not like a real love triangle, it's just like a love angle. Shit kind of sounds like something Yuzuha would do unironically. Like they would be both 29, and then Yuzuha would pull up to Belle and we'd be like, yo Belle, can we start dating? And Belle would be like, yes, finally. And then they would start dating, and then Alice would be like, no fucking way. And then she would have to go to Manato and Wise and like start crying because, oh my god, like what if I actually did like yuzuha after all these years? I actually was in love with her. Oh my god. I am not going to go into the 2.1 story, so if you haven't done the 2.1 story yet, then go do it. If you haven't caught up and you want to catch up, then I'll see you next Friday. Mwah. It's always the missing matching set of items trope with relationships, or especially with these doomed relationships. Luckily, Alice Yuzuha both came out of this alive. I find it especially funny that this trope was given to Alice, the girl that's OCD over symmetry, where she has 2 hairpins because she likes symmetry, but then she loses one and she's like, oh my god, I don't know where my hairpin is. I can't wear this one because I only have one. I need 2 so that it can look the same on both sides of my hair. And then her dad's like, don't worry, I'll look all over China so that I can find that hairpin. And then he dies, and he died because Yuzuha was the one that caught Alice's hairpin under the grades, and then she fell asleep because she was being experimented on. Like, this is a fucking Tales of game. And then Alice's dad finds her and then saves her life, and she now has this hairpin. And then when Alice tells this story about what the hell happened to the hairpin and her dad, Yuzuha's sitting there like, oh my god, this multi-tool that I turned from the Magic Boo hairpin is actually Alice's hairpin, and her dad was the one that saved me that day, and he died because of me. And then this is when like the doomed, almost tragic Yuri starts coming in, where Yuzuha sacrifices herself to make sure that Alice, Manato, and Belle gets away, and she gives the hairpin back to Alice, and she's like, no, I was the reason why your dad died, and I'm returning the favor, making sure that you live. And Alice is like, no, but that's not the point. But it's too late because she's getting swept away by the waves. And then Yuzuha comes up to the evil dude, and she's like, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. And then after a quick rescue from Obo Squad, and then Obo Squad comes, Yishun also shows up into the battle and helps us kill it. Alice like hugs Yuzuha, and she's like, man, you're fucking stupid. I want you and me together. We're going to live together. The reason why that you were the one that got this hairpin, and then my dad sacrificed himself, was to make sure that you lived. So I wanted to make sure that we both live. And then she starts crying, and then like get a little tear in your eye because this shit's just it's just so anime. This entire part of the story is just so anime. Doomed Yuri aside, I'm glad that the Zenless Zone writing team was able to write in Alice and Yuzuha's iceberg lore without it being like shoot in, like in 1.6, where all of a sudden like Sambi and Trigger like show up out of nowhere and they help you do some stuff with Vivian, and then they just like fuck off, and you're just like, what the fuck? Seeing Alice's growth this entire 2.1 patch was also insane to witness. Like, her character development happened way faster than Zenitsu, the entire arc that he has been alive in Demon Slayer. Like, motherfucker is still the same at the end of the Training Hashira arc. This motherfucker is gonna fucking die in that castle. Through the entirety of the 2.1 story update, we get to see Alice's true colors, because a lot of people have just been using Alice as a pawn because they underestimate Alice. Even though she's relatively smart, due to her being OCD over symmetry, she notices a lot of things and keeps mental note of a lot of those things that she notices. And it comes up time and time again that, hey, this thing is kind of out of the loop. And then Yuzuha's like, oh yeah, you're kind of right, that is kind of out of the loop. This all boiling over, oh no, not the tea, the tea's gonna get ruined, where Alice goes up to Damien and goes, hey, I will literally get rid of the patent and I will offer it to you for free. And everyone goes, for free? In return that you help us so that we can go help Yuzuha, because I will literally give up everything right now so that I can go help her because she helped us. I I do find Yuzuha's character very interesting because even though, yes, she is a Bratz doll that's actually bratty and will take any angle she can to make fun of Manato and Alice, she's also very caring, where she knows when to be serious and to own up to whenever she fucks up, like when she feels like she pried into Alice's backstory a little bit too much and obviously doomed Yuri for a little bit there. When she reconciles with Alice, she immediately goes, okay, yeah, sure, I will promise that we will live together, and Alice like cries in her shoulder. I know this is gonna sound like I'm grasping at straws, but I do genuinely believe that if the two of them were in a relationship, their chemistry together just meshes so well together. Like Yuzuha making fun of Alice and taking her on these ghost trips because she's fucking scared might actually help her be less scared when she gets into actual conflict with like ethereals and shit. Because if there's no ghost, then that means that there's gonna be other evil things here, like, I don't know, cultists, and vice versa. With Alice around, Yuzuha can be her quote-unquote true self, and she could just let loose and like not have to be the storyteller all the time, where she has to make up stories about how there's a river lady, her name's La Rona, and then she's taking people and dragging them into the lake. And then all of a sudden we check the lake and there's a white robed person in the middle of the lake, and it turns out it was a cultist. Holy shit balls. I'm just super real with y'all. Making this video was kind of hard because not only am I trying something a little new, but like I don't really touch platonic relationships all too much. Most relationships I do talk about, I'm thinking about it like romantically. Like I'm already thinking about it like first night we are messing around. If they ever did do something physical, it would probably be a kiss, and it would probably be like once a year, and Alice would probably actually pass away and die if Yuzuha kissed her. Like Alice would end up looking like Eos when Astra kissed her, but obviously instead of Eos it would be live Alice reaction. And Yuzuha too, I don't think that she would explode, but she would definitely be super red, and then like they would both have to go back to the spook shack, and then Manato would be like, why do you two look like death? And like Yuzuha's gonna be like, it's a long story. You know what would be hilarious is that if they made Lucia and Yidhari to be together, like I already see it now with these two. It's gonna be like Lucia casting spellbinding circle on Yidhari, and she's like laying on the floor, and the caption's like, me letting my hot girlfriend do experiments on me. I already see it between these two, and I know them two get freaky as fuck. I wonder what the fuck Zenless Zone Zero's writing team's gonna do for 2.4. Like are we gonna walk into Spook Shack and then like they're all gonna have to tell Wise, we're gonna have to break the news? Oh, hey Wise, I love women. Oh, I love women as well. I love women also. Yes, me too. Oh, okay, like who in Spook Shack likes men?